When talking about tragedy and injustice, one name stands out as a symbol of a wonderful life interrupted, a promising future cut short. This victim was a ray of sunshine for those that knew her, making the tragedy she endured that much more heartbreaking. This is the story of Janet Chandler. From her earliest days, Janet had a warmth about her, a vitality that captivated everyone that crossed her path. Growing up in a loving, supportive family, she blossomed into a compassionate young woman who was eager to make a difference in the world. Janet's family encouraged her to run after her passions and pursue her dreams. With their support, she flourished academically and socially, gaining popularity among teachers and friends. Her personality and charisma, unlike other people we've talked about before, were used as a force for good. She was very spiritual and a devout Christian, participating as a member of her church choir. Everyone that knew her loved her, and didn't seem that she possessed an evil bone in her body. As she continued her journey into adulthood, Janet enrolled into Hope College to pursue vocal music education, a place where her vibrant spirit easily found a home. She embraced every opportunity that college life had to offer, remaining focused on her studies and other campus activities. Janet had a future that was extremely promising in the musical education field. She was excited to inspire young minds to embrace the power of music. Little did she know that her path would intersect with such extreme darkness, forever altering the future that she was looking forward to so dearly. The tragedy that affected Janet is a chilling reminder that human life is fragile, and the depths of evil that lurk in the shadows can destroy any hope or dream. While pursuing her studies at Hope College, Janet found employment at the Blue Mill Inn, a place where her warm smile and diligent work ethic made her a cherished member of the staff. But as fate would have it, Janet's choice of employment brought concerns and worries from her loving parents. They questioned the safety of her position, fearing for the risks that would accompany working in a sketchy environment. Stemming from a place of love and protection, her parents worried about their child's well-being. From the perspective of the police, the narrative shifts to a fateful night, where an urgent call pierced through the quiet of the night. A voice, trembling with fear, relayed a robbery in progress at the Blue Mill Inn. The dispatcher's heart raced as officers were released onto the scene, aware that lives were at stake. Law enforcement officers, driven by duty and a commitment to protect and serve, raced to the inn, their adrenaline pumping as they prepared for the unknown. In their minds, they understood the gravity of the situation, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As police arrived on scene, a chilling reality unfolded before their eyes. Inside the inn, the safe had been plundered, with a sum of $510 missing. Witness recounted the sight of Janet being forcefully taken away in a vehicle. Initially treated as a case of robbery and abduction, the police immediately hopped on the trail of the unknown kidnapper. Days passed, and the bitter winds of February carried a secret. In the early hours of February 2nd, 1979, a snowplow driver discovered an unthinkable sight in the woods of South Haven, alongside Interstate 196. There, amidst the unforgiving cold, lay the lifeless body of Janet, stripped of her dignity and exposed to the merciless elements. Her autopsy report painted a haunting picture of the brutality that she had endured. Medical examiner's findings revealed that Janet had been tragically strangled, her life extinguished by the cruel hands of another. Asphyxiation, the cause of death, left an unremovable mark on the history of Janet's life. The anguish deepened as further details emerged from the examination. The medical officer's report spoke of the presence of recent intimate activity, a grim sign of the violation Janet had suffered in her final moments. The weight of truth pressed heavily upon the hearts of those tasked with bringing justice to her memory. The cruel snowfall in the night beforehand had blanketed the scene in which she was found. Investigators sighed with defeat as they realized that the snow had been an accomplice in her death, concealing the tracks of the individual responsible. In the face of such darkness, the resolve of investigators burned brighter. They would not rest until every stone was turned and every lead was pursued. The first place they had to look was to others staying at the hotel. Tensions had run high at a nearby paint plant as the workers went on strike to fight for their workers' rights. As owners were bringing in guards to protect those going into work, most of them had been staying at the Blue Mill Inn. They had unknowingly become part of a tragic tale that would change lives forever. Investigators ran deep into the heart of the case, interrogating the guards who were staying at the inn, closely interviewing Janet's friends and co-workers, and combing the neighborhoods in search for the truth. Their tireless efforts yielded a mountain of evidence and information, each piece of the puzzle documented within the pages of their notes. Hundreds upon hundreds of pages told the story of a painstaking journey to uncover suspects and answers. Despite their dedication, the case eventually grew cold, and the trail of leads diminished with each passing day. Time seemed to be against them, casting frustration on the investigators who had given so much of themselves to find the truth. For over 2 decades, the case remained hidden in the shadows, the chilling reality of Janet's abduction and murder haunting the memory of those who loved her and tirelessly looked for answers. The passage of time eroded the hope of finding the culprit, leaving a void. But as history has shown, cold cases can be rekindled. Janet's tragic fate continued to whisper throughout the years, waiting for the moment where it once again captured the attention of new eyes committed to bringing her justice. In the wake of the haunting documentary, Who Killed Janet, produced by Associate Professor David Schock and his class at Hope College, Janet Chandler's case was reignited. The film premiered in 2004, serving as the spark that breathed new life into the investigation. With determination, the new set of investigators start on a new pursuit for truth. Every person who had been questioned in 1979 returned to the interrogation room. Among them was Janet's supervisor and roommate, Lori Ann Schwank, who was overcome with guilt. Lori claimed that Janet, despite her clean image, had engaged in affairs with the guards who were staying at the inn. They had a new trail, and they weren't going to let it go. Following Lori's allegations brought investigations to the guard who had made the 911 call that night, Robert Michael Lynch. Over time, investigators slowly chipped away at his defenses and refusals to talk, unraveling the secrets he had held inside. By June of 2005, Lynch's silence began to crumble as he revealed what he knew about that night. Investigators learned of the animosity harbored by some of the female staff at the inn towards Janet, especially for her ongoing relationships with the guards. These revelations cast a new light on the case, leading officers down a path of complicated relationships, hidden motives, and resentment. As the truth became unveiled, Janet's story shifted, exposing a web of intrigue that had long been concealed. Lori, burdened by her affection for one of the guards named Carl, was jealous of Janet's relationship with him, as well as her popularity among the staff. Motivated by a desire to hurt Carl and tarnish Janet's image, Lori hatched a scheme that would lead to Janet's tragic death. In a calculated move, she shared fabricated tales of Janet's encounters with other guards to Carl, intending to anger him and disenchant him with Janet's character. Carl seized upon the opportunity to teach Janet a lesson. Collaborating with his colleagues, he hatched a plan. On January 31st, 1979, the guards manipulated Janet's trust, promising her a party while concealing their true intentions. Blindfolded and unsuspecting, Janet was led into Carl's room. She didn't know that a trap had been set, as the guards conspired to subject her to a nightmarish ordeal, passing her around as an object of degradation and punishment. As the guards led Janet out of the room, one of them seized the opportunity to pilfer money from the safe, powered by greed. Meanwhile, Robert Lynch had been riddled with guilt, making a phony 911 call to further obscure the truth. The weight of his actions had burdened him every day following the heinous acts he had participated in, including strangling Janet to death. He had been pushed into the depths of despair, turning to alcohol to drown out his sorrows. In February 2006, almost 30 years after that tragic day, Robert Lynch was charged and taken into custody. The first-degree murder charges carried no statute of limitations, ensuring that justice would be served. In September of that year, authorities extended the grasp of the law to pursue others involved in the gruesome crimes against Janet. Lori, Carl, and 3 other guards, Anthony Williams, Freddie Parker, and James Nelson, were among those who also faced murder charges. As plea deals were taken and the culprits were finally put behind bars, the community grappled with the chilling realization that the perpetrators were not just strangers in the night, but individuals known to Janet, her co-workers, and the community. May the memory of Janet Chandler live on, inspiring us to seek a world where compassion triumphs over cruelty. What steps can society take to prevent similar acts of violence and ensure the safety of vulnerable individuals? Do you believe that the passage of time should limit the pursuit of justice? Or do you think that there should be no statute of limitations for heinous crimes, such as murder? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned to hear more cases just like this one. But until next time.